A cloaked human dreadnought entered the throne room. Every alien emperor fell silent. I have been sitting in the command chair for 9 hours without moving. My coffee went cold 4 hours ago. I did not notice. When you are about to do something that no human has ever done before, you tend to forget about coffee. My name is Joran Mace. I hold the rank of captain in the United Earth Navy, and I command the Dreadnought Pale Horse. She is 2 kilometers long, built from angular black iron, and she carries enough firepower to reshape the surface of a moon. Right now she is drifting through the most heavily guarded region of space in the known galaxy, and not a single soul outside this ship knows we are here. We are cloaked, not hidden behind sensor jammers or reflective plating like the alien empires use. Truly cloaked. Invisible to light, to gravity sensors, to quantum scanners, to everything. The aliens have been trying to develop this technology for 10,000 years. They failed. Humanity cracked it in 37. Funny what you can accomplish when someone burns your world and leaves you with nothing but time and anger. Kale 4 was my home. I was 11 years old when the Vreth Dominion dropped fire from orbit and turned 20 million people into ash. I remember my mother lifting me into the evacuation shuttle. I remember the sky turning white. I remember the sound, a low hum that shook my teeth, and then silence. That was the last time I saw her face. The Vreth did not target the shuttle because they did not consider it worth the ammunition. We were, in their words, a non-sovereign species. We had no rights under galactic law. Killing us was not a crime. It was pest control. The Conclave of Thrones approved the strike. 12 alien empires voted, and not one of them objected. The Solari Consortium sold the Vreth our colony coordinates. The Korvathi hegemony wrote the legal framework that classified us as non-sovereign. The rest simply watched and moved on to the next item on their agenda. After Kale 4, humanity went quiet. No diplomacy, no trade agreements, no protests at galactic forums. We simply vanished from the conversation. The 12 empires assumed we were collapsing, dying out, fading into the background noise of a galaxy that had never truly noticed us in the first place. They were so completely wrong. For 40 years we built, we researched, we engineered things that the oldest civilizations in this galaxy have not even imagined yet. We did it quietly, patiently, and with a focus that only comes from a very specific kind of memory. Not hatred. Hatred burns out, memory does not. And now the Pale Horse is here, gliding through the exclusion zone around Orithis, the ancient station where the Conclave meets once every galactic century. 12 emperors have gathered with their fleets. I can see them on my tactical display. Over 9,000 warships arranged in ceremonial formations around the hollow moon, their hulls gleaming with the colors of 12 sovereign nations. On today's agenda, according to the intelligence we intercepted 6 months ago, the 12 will formally divide humanity's remaining colony systems among themselves. They believe we are functionally extinct. They are here to carve up our corpse. I look at my bridge crew, 23 men and women, every one of them calm, every one of them professional. Several of them are from Kale 4. Others are the children of survivors. None of them speak. None of them need to. I give the first order of the evening. Take us in. The Pale Horse moves forward. We pass through the outer fleet perimeter without a whisper. A Korvathi sensor cruiser sits 400 meters to our port side, its detection arrays sweeping space in every direction. They find nothing. We are a ghost passing through a room full of people who do not believe in ghosts. We slide between 2 Vreth battlecruisers. I can see their hull markings through the forward viewport with my own eyes. Close enough to read the serial numbers. Close enough to count the weapon ports. Their crews are inside eating dinner, unaware that a human dreadnought is passing close enough to touch. My tactical officer, Lieutenant Adisa, looks at me. There is something in her eyes that is not quite a smile but carries the same weight. I nod. We continue inward. The hollow interior of Arathis opens before us like the inside of a cathedral. The station was carved from a moon millions of years ago by a species that no longer exists. At its center, open to the vast interior sky, sits the grand throne chamber. I can see it now on the magnified display. 12 thrones arranged in a circle, each one built to accommodate a different anatomy. 12 rulers of 12 empires, seated and debating, surrounded by their advisors and guards. They are discussing Earth. I hear the translation feed. The Solari ambassador is proposing that Earth's oceans be harvested for mineral content. The Korvathi emperor suggests the planet be converted into a military staging ground. The Vreth Emperor has not spoken yet. He does not need to. Everyone already knows he will claim the largest share. He always does. I position the pale horse directly above the open ceiling of the throne chamber. 2 kilometers of warship, hanging in the still air of the station's interior, looking down at 12 of the most powerful beings in the galaxy. I take a breath. I think of my mother. I think of white sky. Decloak, I say. The world changes. The pale horse appears. Not gradually, not fading in like a projection. One moment, there is empty air above the throne chamber. The next moment, there is a mountain of black iron and ghostlight, hanging in silence, so close that its shadow falls across every throne. Every alarm on Arathis activates simultaneously. I can hear them through the audio feed, a cascading symphony of panic spreading through the station in waves. Outside, 9,000 warships begin scrambling into combat formations. Comm channels explode with chatter in a dozen languages. But it does not matter. We are already inside. We are already here. Their weapons cannot fire at us without destroying the station, and every emperor sitting in it. I watch the throne room through our ventral cameras. The image is crystal clear. 12 alien emperors, beings who command billions of lives, who have waged wars across star systems and shaped the destiny of civilizations, are looking up at my ship, and every single one of them has fallen silent. The Vreth Emperor's mandibles are clicking rapidly. My translator flags this as an involuntary fear response. He cannot stop it. The Solari ambassador's skin has turned completely white, a color their species only displays when they believe death is absolutely certain. The Korvathi Emperor has not moved at all. He is simply staring, his ancient reptilian eyes fixed on the hull of a ship that should not exist, built by a species that should not be alive. Good. Now they know how it feels. I open a channel. My voice fills the throne chamber, calm and conversational, as if I am discussing the weather. My name is Captain Joran Mace, United Earth Navy, commanding the Dreadnought Pale Horse. I apologize for arriving without an invitation, but I understand you are discussing the future of my species, and I felt we should be part of that conversation. No one responds. I did not expect them to. The Pale Horse is the 7th vessel of its class, I continue. There are 6 others. I will not tell you where they are. You will not find them. I want you to understand that before we continue. I let that settle. Then I begin. I read them the address of every emperor's home palace, not the public addresses. The real ones. The classified locations hidden behind layers of military security and misdirection. I list them one by one, casually, the way you might read items from a grocery list. I recite the encrypted communication frequencies used by every imperial fleet, codes that are changed monthly and guarded with the highest levels of secrecy. I read them as if they are public knowledge, because to us, they are. Then I read the names. Every intelligence operative that each empire has embedded in the other's courts. Every spy. Every double agent. Every hidden asset. I read them aloud, and I watch through the cameras as emperors turn to stare at each other. Trust that took centuries to build begins to crack in seconds. Advisors step backward. Guards shift their grips on their weapons. The Vreth Emperor looks at the Solari ambassador, and the ambassador will not meet his gaze. I let the chaos simmer for exactly 10 seconds. Then I speak again, and my voice cuts through the noise like a blade through silk. I did not come here for revenge. Silence returns. It comes back fast when a dreadnought is floating above your head. If we wanted revenge, you would not have lived long enough to notice. We could have done this years ago. We chose not to. Not because we forgave you, but because we decided that what was done to us would not define what we became. I pause. I think of Kale 4 again. I think of 20 million voices that went quiet in a single afternoon. I push the thought down gently, the way I have learned to do over the decades. And I continue. Humanity is not extinct. Humanity is not dying. And from this moment forward, humanity is sovereign, whether you recognize it or not. I lay out the terms. I do not call them proposals or suggestions or topics for discussion. I call them terms, because that is what they are. Kale 4 is a memorial world. No species will set foot on its surface. The non-sovereign classification is dissolved, not just for humans, but for every minor species the Conclave has exploited under that label. A 13th throne will be added to this chamber. It will remain empty. Humanity will not sit in it, but it will be there, and every emperor will look at it, and they will remember why it exists. Any act of aggression against a human world will be answered. I describe the response as proportional, in a way they will not enjoy discovering. I do not elaborate. I do not need to. These are not negotiations, I say. This is a notification. For a long moment, nobody moves. Then the Vreth Emperor stands. His full height is nearly 3 meters, armored in natural chitin, and his voice carries the deep resonance of a species that has dominated through intimidation for millennia. He declares that no prey species dictates terms to the Dominion. He signals his fleet to target my ship. I watch my tactical display. 1,200 Vreth warships begin to orient their weapons toward Orithis. My crew does not flinch. I give a single quiet order. The Pale Horse responds. A focused graviton pulse, invisible and silent, reaches out from our ventral array and finds the Vreth Emperor's personal flagship hanging in formation outside the station. It is a massive vessel, 800 meters long, the pride of the Dominion fleet. In the space of 2 seconds, the flagship compresses. It folds inward upon itself, silently, impossibly, shrinking and collapsing until it is a dense sphere no larger than a marble. No explosion, no debris, no sound, just a warship that existed, and then did not. The marble drifts slowly downward through the open ceiling of the throne chamber, trailing faint sparks of residual energy. It descends in a gentle arc, catching the light, almost beautiful, and lands on the stone floor in front of the Vreth throne, with a small, clear sound. Clink. The Vreth Emperor sits down. Anyone else? I ask. Nobody speaks. Nobody moves. The only sound in the throne chamber is the faint hum of my ship's engines, a sound they will hear in their nightmares for the rest of their lives. I close the channel. I give the order to recloak. The Pale Horse vanishes, not retreating, not accelerating, just ceasing to be visible, while still hovering directly above them. They do not know if we have left. They cannot tell. For all they know, we are still there, watching, listening. We are, for another 6 hours. I have dinner brought to the bridge. My crew eats in shifts. I eat a sandwich and watch the conclave's emergency session on the audio feed. They argue. They accuse each other of leaking intelligence. They panic. And then, slowly, they vote. Every term is accepted, unanimously. The Vreth Emperor votes yes first. Only then do I take the Pale Horse out. We slip back through the fleets, through the exclusion zone, and into the deep black of open space. 9,000 warships behind us, and not one of them ever knows the moment we leave. I sit in my quarters afterward, writing my report. The ship is quiet. The mission is complete. I think about the 13th throne that they will build in the Grand Chamber. Black iron, the same material as our hull. No cushion, no ornamentation, just an empty chair standing among 12 occupied thrones, carrying a silence that weighs more than any weapon ever could. They will stare at that chair for centuries. They will wonder if someone is sitting in it right now, cloaked, invisible, watching them with patient human eyes. They will wonder, and they will never be certain, and that uncertainty will keep them honest in ways that no treaty or threat ever could. Let them wonder. Let them remember. Humanity is done being quiet, but that does not mean we will ever stop being silent.